Many months later.
So it has been a couple of months since I last worked on the Crown. 2 months is a long time, so I have a lot of catching up to do. Now we're slowly getting ourselves back on track, so we're going to continue with the Toyota Crown. What we're going to do today actually is we're going to remove the ECU from the inside, get the exhaust cut, get the engine mounts loose and the transmission mount loose, and we're going to pull the engine out today, hopefully. I only got a couple of hours unfortunately, but if things go well, I should have this engine out by tonight. In a couple of days or so, I'll be able to get the other engine in and test it out and then see how we're going to fit the clutch into this car. So let's just not waste any more time and get straight into it. Here we go. Alright, got some good news here. I was trying to remove the 2JZGE ECU so I can remove the wiring, because this is the wiring that goes into the engine bay right there, as you can see. And I'm looking at the plugs. It just so happens to be the exact plugs that I'm missing here for the 1JZ GTE ECU. So there, see? Boom, boom. Right. So that means I won't have to buy anything. I don't have to buy the plugs actually. I was actually looking for them already online and they are available, but yeah, don't need to get them. So, which is good news, but I still have to check the wiring, make sure it is all correct. The wiring that's being fed to it, because as you know, if you mix wires into an ECU, I could blow up the ECU, and that is the last thing I want. I'm trying to move forward with this, not go backwards. So at least I got the plugs now, and I don't have to worry about looking for them. I'll pull out the pins and make sure what's going into them or what is required from the ECU. And yeah, we should be able to get this car started with the original factory wiring into the new ECU. Sweet. Right, let's continue on, huh? Alright, so it's been some time already now. I have pulled off the transmission mount. I have released the engine mounts. I've drained the oil from the transmission because the tail shaft is just a slip yoke, not one of the bolted up ones, so I had to drain the oil, otherwise when I'm pulling it out it's just going to make a mess. What else? The wiring is off, the engine mounts are loose, everything's loose. I've got the transmission up on a jack already, as you can see. Pop it up. The engine moves, all loose, all ready to go. Now it's just a matter of lifting up the engine and getting it out of there. So yeah, so not much to go. So let's get this engine out and get it over done with, huh? And I think that should do for tonight because it's already getting late, almost midnight already. Time goes very quickly when you're working hard, huh? Alright, and we did it. We got the engine and gearbox out. It was a bit of an effort. Lucky the boys came to see me. Hey.
Hey, for today. Hey. What was that be?
I'm not paying them, by the way. But yeah, we got the engine and gearbox out. Closed up everything. We're going to leave it there. And I'm going to continue on this another day. Huh? Here we go.
3 days later.
Alright, so it's been a few days and you can tell I got a haircut now. Anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to remove the foot brake. Well, this doesn't have a handbrake. It uses one of those pedal brakes. It's annoying because this car he's going to be using as a daily drift, so he can't have that anymore. And plus he's installing a clutch, so we need to remove the third brake pedal and turn it into a clutch pedal. So I've got here the whole setup for the clutch pedal. As you can see, I got the master there. There's a spacer there. I don't know what that one's for, but it's there. And you got the pedal. Sorry, the pedal box here. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the full pedal from here and then see what we need to modify in order to make it work. Huh? So it might be easy, it might be hard. We'll find out. All right, so I've gone ahead and removed the what's it called? The foot brake pedal. You can see. I didn't record it because it's very tight and very far up in there, and I couldn't get the camera in a good angle. You will see what I'm doing, but and not my belly fat. So so I removed the pedal. Now I'm gonna disconnect the cable for it, and then I'm gonna pull it away. And on the bench, we're gonna see what are the differences between this and the clutch pedal. Right? So here we go. All right, I got the brake pedal out. As you can see, very dirty. Look at my hands, man. And that took me so much longer than expected. But looking at it, I have some pretty good news, which is gonna make my life a lot easier. Now, surprisingly, the clutch pedal, the mounting holes, the mounting studs, sorry, are they are exactly the same as the pedal brake for the Toyota Crown. So that's good news. I can line this up, and from the looks of it, look at it like this. We are so close to mounting it up on the same mounting holes as the original foot pedal. Yeah, this could be good. Might save us a lot of problems. But of course, I mean, the distance is completely different, as you can see. So I will have to modify this still, change the mounting hole for this. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, but the mounting holes line up. So what we can do, and since we have this little spacer that goes onto the back of the master cylinder, just like that, that means I can use this to make the template for the hole to get the clutch master to slide through. So it makes it easier. All right, so what we're gonna do now is gonna test fit this in there, see if it'll line up, and if it does, start drilling the hole. So here we go.
A few moments later.
So I just tried to test fit this in there, and it doesn't fit. Unfortunately, this bracket here is the incorrect angle compared to this. As you can see, this one's like really upwards, and this is more straighter, so this doesn't line up. And this part here is hitting the bottom of the top of the steering column. There's a bracket that separates the engine bay to the firewall. That is also hitting. So I think this is just for a clutch switch. For some models that in order to start the car, you need to have a clutch pedal. You need to press the clutch pedal, and this is the switch for it. So this car's not going to need it. So I'm just going to cut this section off. And this part here, I'm also just going to trim it. Bend it down, see if I can make it work like that. So we'll start with that and see what happens from there. Here we go. All right, what I've done is I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna just cut off this bottom piece here. As you can see, I made marking on it and I made it rounded so then it can actually look more factory. I'm gonna cut this off first, test fit it, and then from there I'll be able to see what kind of angle this section needs. Then I can cut this, modify it, and then make it fit. I'm still worried about these spaces here. I'm not sure what they're gonna do, if I need to remove them, need to strengthen them. We'll find out when I get it there. Yeah? So yeah, let's get to cutting now. Here we go. Alright, so this cut turned out very, very nicely actually. It lines up perfectly with another, a strengthening plate that's already on the firewall. But this one, is still giving me trouble. So I'm gonna cut the edge here, make it a triangle shape here on both sides, and then from there I'm just gonna tap it down until it lines up. Now I may need to cut it and extend it because it doesn't line up perfectly. The beauty about metal is that you can just re-weld it again. So yeah, we're gonna cut here, bend it down a bit, and see if it lines up. So here we go. The cuts have been made. Now I'm just gonna tap it down until we get it lined up. Yeah, just like that. So it's a bit straighter. Don't know if it's perfectly straight, but we need to try it, fit it, and then once I get it perfectly lined up, then I will re-weld it again and make it all stronger, you know? So here we go. All right, I don't know if you can tell by my eyes, but it's been a while. So after a lot of cutting and grinding and welding and grinding and cutting and everything, we end up with this. Now I know it's not the prettiest looking thing if it focuses, yeah, but it lines up perfectly. Now of course, because I welded the hole up, the hole is not big enough to fit the bolt through. So I have to drill it back out again, and then while I've got the drill all set up, I'm just gonna drill a hole through and see if we can mount up the master cylinder. So yeah, let's do that, huh? Here we go. I'm so tired already, huh? It's already 1 o'clock in the morning and we're still going. Alrighty, and just like that, we now have a clutch pedal and the clutch master installed into the car. Now it's 3 o'clock in the morning already, and this took me a lot longer than I expected. It happens like that, huh? You think a job's gonna take you a couple of hours, it ends up taking you like 6-7 hours, huh? But anyway, that's gonna be for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. On the next video, we are going to start installing the engine and gearbox together, because we need to see how we are going to route the hard line for the clutch master. Sorry, for the clutch slave. So that'll be in the next video. So remember to like and subscribe, and so you can follow along with the whole build. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to leave me a comment, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.